Alright. Welcome back. Part 2 of the video. As you can see, Eagle keeps going. I will actually record now how I do the general shapes. If you watch the video, and I think it's like I think the second line is pretty good like this. Yeah. So like this is pretty important part now, because you give everything now the general shape and structure, and the more you prepare the better. And what I mean by this is, for example, when I'm now seeing lines that you can orientate to break down the thing you want to. And for example, what I see here, it's like a pretty good, pretty straight line right down here. And now I can see that. Let's actually make it like this. Now I can see that from this and this is a pretty straight line. For example, you don't have to make it with a ruler. Like basically, this is not important that it's too straight. It's just the orientation, but it helps tremendously. Trust me. Yeah, and now I can, for example, this is pretty. Now I'm simply watching where what is. Like for example, this peak. I will simply make it like around here. And then, for example, I see that the what was this again? The what means Schnabel? I forgot it. Beak. Ah yes, the beak. For example, that the beak is hitting this field like here in the half, so I know here in the center it has to go. So the beak goes from down here, like down, and then we have here this line, and then around here. So let's say here is the half. So here is half, and then again half of this. So I'll simply divide this, now this, break it down here. Now the beak goes down, it hits the field around here, then the curve is around here, and it goes until here. Now I have pretty perfect beak, like in the original. Now I can simply fit the. Hello? No. Now my camera is frozen. Hello? I don't know why this happens all the time, like the camera is freezing. Yeah, I'll try to fix this. It's super annoying. Alright, now everything works again. Simply keep going. I know that you can't see everything right now, but it's not that big of a deal, because like these lights are so thick, and if I add a little bit more then you can see it. It's because it's pretty bright right now outside. You can make the light off, but yeah, you know, basically it's just about the idea of what I'm doing here, because you obviously will look this for the end result and how you can do it on your own, and you will do this system, use this on your own. So yeah, no. Can I make this? No, it's at the same size. Okay. Yeah, but I'm pretty happy with the setup. Works pretty good to me. Alright, yeah, it's going. Peak I've done, and now you can look, for example, now here where this thing is. It's like at the third of this square. So around, say, for this you can also use your ruler, you know. You simply go, okay, those are like 12 centimeters, and then you make like 4 and 8, and now you know that's it's around 4 is the third. it doesn't have to be exact, but it should be around there, you know. And now I can simply go do it like this. Then I know that here is the nose hole, and it goes up like this. Around here starts this here, which is actually wrong. No, something. No, if the eye is around here, it goes like. Obviously, it's a lot bigger. Let's say around. This is the eye, and then here is the outer circle of the eye. That works well. This, and here is the long thing until here. Here's the beak. This thing goes the whole way up here. Here it goes over the triangle until here. Nice curve, and as you can see, I'm adding many layers, and in the end I can either use the rubber, or obviously I will add very dark tones with the light ones. Right now I'm using the hard pencil, you know, so this won't be seeable in the end because I will add much thicker things. So doesn't matter how I do this right now, it's just about the proportion right now. So here is the feather. Now I can simply go down here and already look like now I see one peak is here, then one here, and so I can, it doesn't need to be exactly the same, but I also know that like this line is going up here, so I can orientate with this line. So I know that around here I am now with this beak. This feather, now comes this one, now the very long. Now I can see that I make this slightly, it's a little bit different because here is like, the line is more like here in my drawing, but this doesn't matter in the end. If feather is like this or the other way, it won't affect the image that much. What I was thinking about was to, because it's like a little bit sad that it's like cut off, and when I look at the other pictures, actually, like he's complete. This one I will, he's okay, the line is also cut off. Was thinking about making it smaller so that the whole eagle head fits on like this one, so that, you know, that I don't have any areas, but yeah, I'll simply leave it this way. That's okay. Good, now come down here. Yeah, that's pretty much where I wanted it to be. Like, you know, you see this line. Now here's this little white spot, and this little white spot I have here perfectly. And how fast this was, like I have recorded it, you know, and you can do the exact same thing. Like this wasn't hard. Like everyone, literally everyone can do this. Yeah, this line here is very important now, because now I will go up here. Let's say here is the center of this thing, then a line goes up here through this center to this feather, to this, and this is around, let's say, zack and zack. Okay, so here's around a third, so I will take my ruler, 15 centimeters around. Let's go a little bit down because it's like this. Yeah, pretty much 15 centimeters, so 5 here and 10 here. And now I know that the line needs to go through here, the center, from the tip of the beak, which was around here. Yeah, here's this thing, and this beak goes like this down here. Very nice, very nice. Okay, and like here's our X, and here goes like to the center. Now here's the center, here's the center, so now to around here, and here it goes like this long line to the very bottom, and then is here the wing. And this actually, if you think this line down here, yeah, let's say a third of this one, so around thick and thick. Yeah, this is okay. So the wing goes from here like this, and then he has this thing and this thing. And what I actually wanted to here, the line of the beak goes up here. That's a little bit higher, straighter up with mine. That's no problem. Now I can orientate, for example, this feather, which is around here, laying on this line. Then is here other feather laying around here. This feather I have already made. This is a very, very important line that I'm going to do now, because this is like really remarkable for the bird, because it gives it like this strict view. So here I will have to focus. Actually, I do it extra. So this line goes up here, and then we have a long line which doesn't connect any except this. It's above here, so I'll actually, yeah, this goes around like this. Yeah, and here it touches our triangle. Alright, here we have a feather thing, here we have a feather thing. Here's like very many pencil lines, very dark. Here I can perfectly use this one, because it's I simply use this, and then I'll add layer per layer per layer until it's dark enough. Also, for example, here will be very, very dark, as you can see. Like here, this is like the darkest point, and also here the eyes. Maybe, I don't know yet, maybe I will really go into it with white and black addings in the end for all 4 pictures, because this gives them kind of a really artistic flair. I'll see if I'll add this. The main point shall be that all 4 are made pretty similar, because they justify then each other. So if I add one picture like adding, then I'll do with the other ones as well. So yeah. By the way, the advantage of using a page is that you can use both sides. So if I screw up this, then I can retry. So no pressure at all. This beak I will actually finish, and here I can also see that it goes straight down until, yeah, let's say the center, which is here, around here, and then it goes like this. Here it has actually this, no idea how to say this, but for grabbing fish, I guess, I assume. Here he has like the beak of those birds are like pretty cool. They are actually made out of bone, I think, or from the same material like your fingernails even. Then they kind of, from time to time, they have those little things in there, give it a really nice touch. Oh no, alright. So now the most important part of the whole image is the eye and the parts around it. It has this thing around here, and Like here I will spend probably half an hour on it until I'm happy with it. I won't record this, I'll show you the end result, because if I would record this, the video would take way too long. I'm not sure about this part. I think this part is a little bit too long here, but it's bigger. Yeah, and I feel this also doesn't look that good yet. It also helps from time to time to go back and look the general thing where you are at, and to recheck like the proportions. For example, like I can go simply from the tip to this and say that those are like 17, and then I can, for example, look at what else is 17. For example, this. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. Like from here to here it's perfectly 17, and from here to here it's perfectly 17. From here to here, and now I can go to my screen and look here. Those are perfectly, let's say 6. Those are perfectly, was it here or here? Yeah, 17, and those are perfectly 6. Nice, very nice. So this length is the exact same length as here, and in the original it's the exact same thing. So I've rechecked if I'm on the right path, which I am. This is really good. So now focusing on the eye, here's a really dark spot, and then the pupil. Here's also dark. What I'm doing is I like to kind of first mark the parts where nothing goes in because it's white. For this I will use this and this white pencil later, but obviously where white comes in there doesn't need to be pencil, because if you add pencil but then white on it, the white won't look that good. You can't draw with white that good on pencil. So I simply won't, in this area of the eye, I simply won't add pencil, the gray of this pencil. And now here is the pupil, and it's actually pretty big. It's through the cross and then around here. Then it comes together like here. It might look a little bit weird, but first of all, because you are painting it that much bigger, you can't really tell how it's looking. Like maybe you can from the camera perspective, like no. But if I would hold it now and would go a few steps back, then it would already look good, I guess. I'm not that sure about it like this, if this is a center line, because I feel like it's a little bit too, it's almost from a budgie. Or this needs to go a little bit higher. Let's say like this. This is individual. Here I can add more and more and more, or take something away until I have a nice shape. Yeah, but in general I'm pretty happy with it. Like now I'm constantly adding details that I see. For example, here is a pretty remarkable black line. This to orientate, and it's going pretty straight up. This, so I will add here a little bit more, then here a little bit more, getting already a little bit darker, or press more, so that I get already a few feathers done. It's also for your feeling of progress pretty important, that you kind of feel the progress and you stay motivated. Okay, now I'm reorientating again on this line that I do here, which is here from the beak until here. Now I simply look, oh yeah, here is a feather, which is going from around, it's going around here to here, and down here. Here's like this one, which is here, and this one goes down back to here. As you can see, it's really not hard. Like literally everyone could do this right now. Simply orientating where I'm at. Important not to lose. Like I have to know which feather I'm doing. For example, this one was a little bit screwed up now. Like I'm at this feather and this feather goes a little bit higher to here. And then I have this feather from here to around, going through this square to here. Here really dark spots already, and here as well. And here I wasn't that accurate actually. Down here is one. Not too happy with this area here, because there I wasn't that accurate, but in the end it doesn't play a role. Like nobody knows how the original looked, and if a feather is a little bit different or not, this doesn't matter. This one goes down here. This one is in this square, touching this feather, this central line, going down like this. Actually, this needs to be a little bit smaller. This one needs to be a little bit bigger. Very good. Now, yeah, like I'm now at 21 minutes. If you want, I can paint everything and record everything, and it will be 3 or 4 episodes of the bird, especially like this square here. This will take pretty long, but it looks beautiful. Swing won't take that long, but here I will, around this part here will take pretty long. The eye, etc., I really enjoy, because I love, and then we love adding the white and then letting it looking like wet and 3D, and the light in here, you know, that it looks 3D. This is like my most favorite part, and it's good to do it first. What I see now in the record here is that this part is a little bit too high, I guess. Like if you compare this degree, it needs to be a little bit more flat, I guess, like this, right? Now I can use also the rubber. I usually don't do it, but it gives better orientation. Now I can recheck. Mic is. Sorry if I touch the mic, then I've rewatched the videos, and when I touch the mic it's pretty annoying. But yeah. What I'm also not that happy about is this part here. This looks a little bit too pointed in. I will simply add here more feather. Yeah. Alright. Actually here is a pretty long feather. Why haven't I added this one? If I add this, then I have this one here, then I make this one pretty long. This one goes here. No right or wrong, just try and error. Yeah, nice, cool, very good. Okay, I'll pause now. I'll do this whole part now, and then I'll show you, because I'll simply keep going like this. And maybe I'll simply go with X's, because then I can simply orientate which feather is, and I'll show you the end result. Yeah. Okay, but this I can really show you real quick before I really go into it, because like this helps so much. As you can see, I've added simply many small lines, very very thin lines, XX, and for example, this feather string here, this feather string here, it goes like perfectly through those here. Or for example, this tip here, it's like this, I guess, like here, so around the center part of down section here. Here I can also orientate on this. Here I went a little bit, but now 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, perfectly centered. And now I can go from, for example, this line to this line, like that, and from this line to it's a little bit, it's from here going through here, through let's say here. Now I know perfectly where the feather will be falling here. Here I have this feather line, here's a feather line, here's a feather line actually. Like this is perfect, you know. Ta-da. Here's a feather line. Actually, like this cross here wasn't that necessary. Here I've added a cross. Oopsala.